Hello, this is the Happy Families podcast, November 14, inching closer to the end of term 4, inching closer to the end of year 12 exams for those of you who have got big kids that are just about ready to finish school forever. And we're inching closer to the end of another week. Every Friday on the Happy Families podcast, we give you insight into the lives of the Coulson family, what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong, what we're celebrating and what we are commiserating about. And in today's episode of the pod, find out how I got it right, but wrong at the same time. Probably more wrong than right. I'm giving myself more credit than I deserve because sometimes raising teenagers can be exhausting and you think you know everything, but they think they know everything and it all blows up. I'm going to tell you how I blew up, where I was wrong, and how it ended up being all right. Plus, Mrs. Happy Families with a story about delegating responsibility because sometimes enough is enough and it can actually work out well. Thanks for joining us. That and a whole lot more coming up right after this. Hello and welcome to the Happy Families podcast, real parenting solutions every single day. This is Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast, and we are Justin and Kylie Coulson, parents of 6 kids. I'm the author of a bunch of books about raising happy families. And Kylie, we have some housekeeping, as we always do every time we kick off our Friday pod. It's kind of like our news day. I really enjoy it. We get to be a bit vulnerable about our lives. I was surprised that you've been busy in our living room doing things that I think it's way too early in the year to be doing.
Are you a Grinch?
Well, I'm not a Grinch. I just don't. It's mid-November. It's too early to be a Grinch or to be putting up a Christmas tree.
Really?
Yes. I mean, it looks amazing.
So I just had a conversation with Miss 11 who said, it's really sad that Christmas is only one day.
Right.
And I said, that's why we put it up so early, so we get to enjoy the spirit of Christmas for so much longer. I can't believe you're whinging about this.
Christmas tree is up. It looks great.
It's official.
I love it. I mean, I do love it, but it just feels like a lot.
I did something a little bit crazy this year. I added pink to the tree.
Pink and red, and green, and everything else.
I'm pretty traditional. I stick with my red and white.
I like it.
But this year I decided to add a little bit of flair.
Actually, I love it. Do you know how many days to Christmas, just so that I can maintain my Grinch for a moment longer?
Well, not that I'm counting, but 41.
That's too many days. Too many days. But that's great. So that's our first.
Are you prepared?
That's our first bit of housekeeping.
Have you brought all of your presents?
The tradition is in this house that I say we're not doing Christmas this year. We need to buckle our belts. We need to tighten our belts, whatever it is, and stop spending money. And then on Christmas Eve, I have a massive panic attack and go and join the throngs in the shopping centre and spend far too much money, spoiling everybody. So I plan on doing that again this year. Right now, I'm not buying anything for anyone. And I'm not planning on shopping on Christmas Eve, but I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to end up doing again.
Well, you might have got cranky at me the other day because I took one of our children shopping because they're at the point now where it's not even worth trying to surprise them with anything.
Hang on, background here. You had a conversation with me a couple of weeks ago and said, what do you think we should set as a budget for the kids for Christmas just so we don't overspend? Because lately, the last couple of Christmases, we have spent too much. And I made a suggestion about a number and you mocked me and laughed and said, we can't possibly do Christmas that cheaply. So the other day, we stopped in at DFO in Brisbane on the way back from being out of town, and you bought some stuff for that child. And I'm finishing your story for you because the amount that I suggested, you quadrupled it.
Well, I came up with a plan.
And I said, well, now you've just set the bar for all 5 of our other children, as well as our son-in-law, and who knows who else. And I don't think we can afford Christmas this year.
Well, I've just worked out if I give her a few of them now, then she'll be in the budget.
No. Delayed gratification. She can wait till April, till
What?
she has her birthday. Yeah. You're not giving it to her now.
Wow, you really are a Grinch.
Okay, other housekeeping. May I move on?
Of course.
Okay, last Monday, so we're going back like 12 days. I know it's a way back, but we just, sometimes we can't squeeze everything into the pod when we want to. Last Monday, we did a podcast episode where we talked about getting kids to go to sleep when every night is a meltdown and you're having those explosive evenings. And I thought we did a really good job on that pod, but we got this voice message from the Happy Families website, happyfamilies.com.au. Sharon from Newcastle jumped on, and I think that she should actually be hosting her own podcast because this was brilliant. Here's what she said.
Hi, I'm Sharon and I'm from Newcastle, New South Wales. I was just listening to your podcast on when every night is a meltdown. I just wanted to let you know a couple of things about my family. I've actually always put my kids to bed, and I was inspired by two people. My best friend at high school, her dad would talk to her before bed every night when she was a teenager. And another friend, she'd put her son to bed and she'd say something like, "Oh, the light's too bright." And when she turned the light off, her teenage son would start divulging his feelings and talking a bit more. My kids are currently 11 and 13, and they have half an hour with me each night. I'm a single mum, but they know every night they are with me, that half an hour of time is theirs. For my daughter, that's evolved from like playing card games or doing talking teddies. Sometimes we do role swap where I'm her and she's me, which is always hilarious. Or we just ask each other questions. For my 13-year-old son, that has been things like reading together to now playing the Wordle at bedtime, talking and cuddling teddies. I'll also add, as a single mum, I bed share with my 11-year-old daughter because I cannot afford to rent anywhere else. And yes, sometimes we still have those nights. My daughter just wants more time with me, so she comes out to me in the lounge room where I'm having time by myself. These nights, I think it's going to be like this forever, and I genuinely really feel upset and angry, like it's going to go on for ages. But when they were little, I used to think, well, they've only been on the planet for 8 years or 5 years or whatever it was. So maybe they're just not ready for something, or maybe they need more connection or something right at this moment in time. And now's no different.
How awesome is that?
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Sharon, for sending that through. I just wanted to play it because it underscores the stuff that we're talking about. Relationships matter. It's all about relationships.
What I love about what she shared was, again, for her, she's a single mum. There's no one else backing her up. And yet she's made this a priority. She's been so intentional about how she chooses to spend time with her children. And sometimes, like most parents, at the expense of her own time. Yeah,
make the investment. It's worth it, and the kids need it. All right, Kylie, before the break, your I'll Do Better Tomorrow. It's a fairly quick one from you today, so let's hear what's going on, what's working, what are you excited about, because you'd had enough.
A couple of weeks ago, we talked about the fact that we decided that we were going to outsource our cooking to the kids. We still have 5 children at home. So literally, if all of those kids, 5 of them, cook one meal, that means you can cook a meal and I can cook a meal. That's one meal a week. 7 people in the house. Everyone does it. I mean, even our 11-year-old can get on board with this, right? But we've got 4 kids older than 15. We've got 3 18 adults. And above. Yeah, 3 adults. So pull your weight, kids, basically the conversation we had, politely. I'd like to say the first week went brilliantly. It didn't. It was absolute schmozzle.
Yeah.
For me, I needed structure, and so I just said, all right, let's start youngest to oldest. So Emily did the first meal that night, and she cooked what she would consider the best bolognese she's ever tasted, not cooked, ever tasted. She had 3 helpings.
Yeah.
This is a kid who doesn't often eat dinner at nighttime.
Yeah.
She loved it. But the rest of the week kind of just was
kids with crazy routines and weird schedules, and
the oldest said she couldn't do the Friday, and it just all kind of, we ended up having to muck in again, and I was getting a little bit frustrated. So we tried it again. We rearranged things. The oldest now cooks on a Monday, not Friday. And
week 2 was great, right?
Well, no, it still was a bit messy because the oldest wanted my input in that she wanted me to make the decision about what we were cooking. She wanted me to make sure everything was there for her. She wanted me to tell her how to do it.
Yeah.
And yes, she needed a little bit of hand-holding because she wanted to try something new. But the whole reason I wanted this was because I'm tired of having to make the decision about food.
That question, what's for dinner? It's like, I don't know what's for dinner. I'm tired of deciding what's for dinner. Someone else decide.
So I got a little bit frustrated with her, and it didn't end very well.
Well, the meal was good. Whatever happened, I mean, the meal was good. I missed all the background stuff, but it was good.
But week 3 has been delightful.
Yeah.
And why it's been delightful, again, it's still been messy. One child who was supposed to cook on their night didn't come home in time to cook dinner. I got a phone call from another child and said, "Who's on dinner tonight, Mum?" And I said, "It's your sister." And she said, "Yeah, she's not here." And I said, "No, she's not going to make it home. Would you like me to do it?" She stepped up. She just said, "I wasn't able to do my meal last night, so I'm really happy to do this one." And a few times through the week that's happened, and somebody has stepped up. they're now so much more aware of the fact that dinner needs to be done and somebody is in charge of it, not me.
Yeah.
And when they realize that person's not there, they're actually stepping up, and I'm loving it. And what has blown me away, one of our children, she was very creative in the kitchen. You were very nervous about eating her food. Actually didn't want to come into the kitchen.
I mean, you're saying creative. I'm saying disorganized and doesn't follow the recipe and is literally just throwing ingredients in and making it up. I mean,
this is the kid who you give her a boxed cake mix and she looks at it and goes,
that looks too boring. Let's
add this and add
stuff.
this.
Yeah.
I'm like,
but she has no base or foundational knowledge on which she is leveraging those decisions. She's just like, I think we should put carrot or pumpkin or turmeric, or like she just chucks stuff in because this looks interesting.
I had to coax you into the kitchen to eat.
Yeah.
But it was delicious. She did such a good job.
I think that I mean, I hope that she's not listening right now. I would call it delicious compared to what I thought it was going to be. I wouldn't call it objectively delicious.
I think she did a great job.
She did.
We had another mishap. We ran out of paprika, and so the girls decided to improvise.
Curry powder. But you know what? This is the thing. They haven't really had to do it. You're such a good cook and you've always cooked. And even the kids that have moved out of home, they didn't do a lot of cooking when they moved out of home. Now they come back and they're sort of saying, we don't really have the skills. And now that they're cooking every week, they're developing the skills. They're actually saying, I'll make the decision, but Mum, will you come in and work with me on this? Because I want to learn how to get it right. And we're seeing improvements in the scheduling and in the routine and the structure, but also in the quality of the food that we're eating bit by bit. The hardest thing for me is that we're going back to eating the same foods that we've been eating for the last 25 years because it's the stuff that they love, the spaghetti bolognese and lasagna and the chicken broccoli and the casserole.
Well, they're also recognising they're going to leave home in the next couple of years.
They need simple stuff to cook.
They need to be able to work things into their budget.
So what's the take-home message?
Get creative. Recognise that when you try new things, it's going to be messy. It's not going to work all at once, but it doesn't mean that the system's broke. You just actually need to massage it, work with it, be patient, and the fruits will come.
Okay, after the break, I got it wrong, but I got it right. I'm pretty sure I got it right more than I got it wrong. It ended up all right, even though I didn't get it right. Maybe more to come. Stay with us. This is the Happy Families podcast. Welcome back. This past couple of weeks, one of the kids, I'm just going to say it, our 15-year-old, she listens to the podcast. I've caught her listening to the pod. She wants to hear what we're talking about. She's listening right now, no doubt. But a couple of weeks ago, she just was attitude. Big, horrible, mean, nasty attitude. Really hard to get along with.
That doesn't sound like any 15-year-old I know.
Treating his sisters badly. Like, it was just really, really, really hard. And I'd had enough. Like, I was just a jack of it. And so I went looking for her so that I could tell her that I'd had enough, and also to tell her to hurry up and get ready for school because she was going to be late. I walked past her bedroom calling her name. There was no answer. I walked down the hallway calling her name. There's no answer. I checked the bathroom. I called her name again. Called her 4 or 5 times. And then as I walked back down the hallway and could see directly into her room, she was sitting there the whole time. And I walked into the room. I'm like, I've just called you 5 times and you've ignored me. She does that, right? You call her name. She just doesn't answer. And it's so rude. It's so disrespectful. And then I started to proceed to tell her how rude and disrespectful she was. And then she gave me some attitude. And it's like this vicious cycle. You say something and they say something. And 15-year-olds they're never humble about this. They're never, you know what, Dad, you're right. Thanks for pointing out my inadequacies and I'll try to do better. They never say that. They're just angry. And I stormed out of the room. I'm like, fair income, like just own it, right? Use your ownership, your accountability and your responsibility. Get out of bed. Stop being in blame, excuse and denial. So I gave her my favorite lecture. She pushed the right button and off I went. I stormed out of the room. And I don't know, she managed to get herself to school. And that afternoon she came home and she must have been stewing on it all day, because she walked into the office and she said, "Can I talk to you about this morning, please, Dad?" And I said, "Sure." And then she just owned it. She took full responsibility for everything she'd done wrong. She also pointed out that my perception of what was occurring and the reality of what was occurring were not perfectly aligned. But she did it quite respectfully. She did it carefully. And when she'd finished, I looked at her and smiled and I said, "You've put a lot of work into that little speech, haven't you?" Just because she'd been thinking about it all day. It was obvious in the way that she was articulating and expressing herself and saying, "Here's what happened and here's what you did and here's how I felt and here's how you were feeling." Like she'd really done the work to make sure that she could communicate it well. I got it wrong. My perception in that moment was wrong, and I had to apologize to her for that. Then we ended up in this vicious cycle together where we antagonized one another and we both got it wrong. And she took responsibility for it. It was amazing to see her get it. It was wonderful. And then she made a commitment that we would work harder on it that night and subsequently. And she has, and we have. And that's the win that came out of the loss. And the take-home message is you don't know everything as a parent. You think you do, but you're so often so off the mark. Flying off the handle doesn't always work. In fact, usually it doesn't work. But if you're really lucky, you'll have amazing kids who will recognize that the relationship really matters. They'll put in the time and the effort. They'll own their stuff and they'll work with you on better solutions and finding ways out of the problems you're having.
Recently, we were recorded for another podcast and we were talking specifically about ruptures in relationships.
Yeah, it was a marriage therapy podcast. Yeah. I mean, we weren't being therapeutically.
We need therapy.
No, we were sharing. Yeah, okay, carry on.
And the host, he called you out on something when you talked about the fact that you really, kind of are unhappy when there's ruptures in the relationship. And he talked about how priceless those experiences were because as you had shared those really difficult ruptures that had taken place in different relationships within our family over at different times, there was this opportunity to reconnect and to repair and to heal. And those experiences are actually the ones that bind us together. They're the ones that connect us deeply because we recognize our imperfections and we're able to take responsibility, acknowledge them, ask for forgiveness and move forward.
And you get to demonstrate the love that you have for that person because if you didn't love them, you wouldn't be trying to repair. You don't make those kind of repairs out of duty.
Your love's bigger than whatever that problem was.
Yeah, nice wrap up, honey. That's great. Hey, we really hope that you got something out of this podcast today. Thanks so much for listening. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Mim Hammonds provides research, admin, and a whole lot of other support. For more info about making your family happier, visit us at happyfamilies.com.au and have a great weekend. Talk to you Monday.